And we won't get into the fact that Isaiah 8, I'm sorry. We won't get into the fact that one of the characteristics of Parmenides and Tessa's movement is that it's a confederacy. But in Isaiah 8, there's a condemnation about getting into a confederacy. And in verse 12, let's start in verse 11. For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, say ye not a confederacy to all them whom this people shall say a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. This time period of the midnight cry, confederacy, confederacy there. Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, and for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And many of them shall stumble and fall and be broken and snared and taken. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. So this is during the sealing time of the 144,000. It's when the 144,000 are being bound. It's the binding off. And the foolish people, the foolish are being bound right here. This is the binding of the wise. Okay? And it says, and I will wait upon the Lord that hideth his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. Did the Lord hide his face from the house of Jacob in this history? Yeah, it was pretty discouraging what was going on. Okay? But what were they to do? They were to wait upon the Lord who has hidden his face. Okay? And behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion. And when they shall say unto you, so now when it asks the question, and when they shall say unto you, it's saying that this will happen. At this point, in the sealing time, in the binding off time of the 144,000, there is going to be a test, an issue. They're going to say, listen to the dead people speak, or don't listen to the dead people speak. So this subject of a dead messenger is valid, but you have a responsibility to identify who the dead messenger is. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their God for the living to the dead? To the law and the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there's no light in them. The way you determine whether the messenger is dead or alive, if Parmenides stands in front of God's people and say, it is spiritualism to use a thus saith the Lord, that's a dead messenger. To the law and the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. This is the subject of Bible prophecy, and Parmenides does what he has done all the way through. He takes the satanic characteristics of himself and he projects them to the other side. And this is throughout here. This is throughout here. If you've lived in the United States, you'll see this with the liberals in the United States. Take their negative characteristics and they project them upon the conservatives. This is a tactic that's used across the board by the liberals. Okay? Yes?
To add to your point, the word there, familiar spirits, means ventriloquism. And that means the expression of one's views and attitudes through another.
Wow. Wow.
Familiar spirits is ventriloquism.
Wow.
The expressions of your attitude and views through another. Okay. So it's pretty airtight. At first it was seemed kind of stupid, maybe a little bit irritating that people were saying, oh, don't listen to Brother Elder Jeff, but he's dead. But then you realize it is a subject of prophecy. You got 2 points of reference in this environment of the priests. Are you going to listen to a dead messenger or a living messenger? And it is not about their human existence. It's about whether they're presenting a thus saith the Lord or they're not. If they're not using a thus saith the Lord, they're dead.
That was the issue concerning when Christ was raised from the dead also. They tried to invent stories to disprove his literal
life.
resurrection.
Yep. Nothing new under the sun. And of course, just if you go back up to verse 15, the people that are going to listen to this foolishness are the many. Okay? Many are called, but few are chosen. And of course, this movement was decimated by Parmenides and Tess. They're the many. And they're going to do 5 things, because this is the 5 foolish virgins. They're going to stumble, fall, be broken, be snared, and be taken. That's the 5 characteristics of the 5 foolish virgins. But this connects with Isaiah 28. You go to Isaiah 28. Verse 13 says, "But the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken." And this is why they want to say that we left the movement. We never left the movement. This is the same place we've always been. We have the same name we've always been. They're the ones that go. They left. Okay? They turned and walked no more with us forever. But there's those same 5 things. And in this passage, verse 14 says, "Wherefore hear the word of the Lord, you scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem, because you said, we've made a covenant with death, and with hell we are at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves." It's got so bad for Parmenides that not too long ago he admitted that he's been lying all the way through this history. He says, well, I was trying to keep peace, okay? He's made lies his refuge all the way through. So we need to know about the dead guy. So I have 4 minutes left. I've only taken up one time at the end.